What's up, grinders? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you've done your language study for the day, or grind as I always say. Otherwise, you will be in for some trouble. Evildea will come out and he will... I don't know. What the fuck did I do? Now my mic's all wet. Ew. Okay. Let's forget that happened. So we're going to look at this video right here. I calculated the best language to learn. Now, when I saw this video, I skipped past it because obviously clickbait, but then I started thinking, he uses the word calculated, which implies that there's some type of like scientific methodology going on here, which makes me more interested. Now, my immediate assumption is he's just going to go based on economics, but maybe, considering that this is an 8-minute video, he's going to go in a little bit more depth, and maybe there'll be like some type of dynamic algorithm he's applying here. So let's watch this video from Rick Barnes. I keep thinking Rick Grimes. Why is... Oh, he's the zombie killer. That would be so awesome if Rick Grimes actually made like a video teaching languages while murdering zombies. Okay, let's begin.
Hey, I've been thinking a lot recently about which language to start to learn next. For me, starting to learn a new language is probably one of the most exciting and easiest parts of the entire process.
Well, I can't help it. As soon as I see someone share their screen, I just got to look at their screen. So he's got some mortgage problems up there. And what is that? Is that like a South Park thing? I don't know.
In those early moments when you...
Oh. I want to see the recommendation. Okay, so this guy is clearly a language simp fan. Look at that, man. Language simp, bloody language simp everywhere. I feel sad. I never appear in anyone's recommendations.
Moments when you unlock a new way of communicating and you get to tap into new cultures and people, it really is incredible. But I've also found that...
You know, for me, like, it's not hard for me to choose a language to learn. The hard part is actually narrowing it down to the specific language I want to learn, because I've got like 20 languages I want to learn, and I want to learn them all, but I don't have enough time in my life because I'm old, I'm balding. It's you know, my time will come before I can learn them all. So the hard part is choosing one and knowing at the same time that this is going to be like a 10-year plan type of thing before I can actually... I just realized Elmo's been giving you guys the finger the whole time. That was totally not intentional, guys. I'm going to be completely legit right now. Like, I literally just pushed Elmo into position today because I thought it'd be kind of cool if Elmo was staring at me. I didn't even realize she was giving us a finger.
Often, excitement can fade with time. Reaching a level of proficiency in any language requires you to stay motivated for months, if not years or decades. So I want to make sure that any languages that I start to learn from here on out are useful to me, both now and in the future.
Okay, so I'm guessing we're going to get some type of algorithm which, based on his specific parameters, specific parameters, will allow him to select the language he wants to learn next. Now, personally, I would never use an algorithm because, like, realistically, at the end of the day, I think the best way is actually to pick a language that you know you're going to be able to maintain. But maybe he's in that situation where he's got a bunch of languages, he wants to learn them all, and unfortunately, he needs some other external source to help him.
To understand which languages are useful to me, I want to develop a simple algorithm. This algorithm will produce a score for each language, ranging from 0 for the...
Jesus, that music is loud. Turn that crap down.
Least useful, to 100 for the most useful. The final score will take into account 6 key factors that I think make...
Okay, we've got communication, culture, economy, geography, tourism, passport strength. Okay.
A language valuable to learn. Number 1, communication. For this, the algorithm uses the number of people across the world that use...
Wait, across the world? That's probably a terrible way of selecting. Because, like, if you want to select a language for yourself that's most useful, why would you select that? Like, I'm pretty sure if you scroll just slightly down on this list, you're going to see languages like, I think, like Burmese and stuff like that, which, although it's kind of cool to learn, I guess, the odds of finding a speaker locally are pretty low, and economically it's going to not provide much benefit, but I guess that's why he's got, like, the other factors involved. But number of speakers, maybe I would say number of speakers regionally, like in your region, because then that would give you a better idea of that language's use, unless you want to go on a world scale. But yeah.
Use this language as their first or second choice to communicate. Number 2, culture. I'm using a cultural influence index that takes into account factors like fashion. architecture, and...
Sorry, I just paused it for a second then because I thought there was some extra information in there, but it was just a number applied to different countries. So cultural index, like, I don't really give a shit about a country's fashion. So I would have to narrow this down into like my specific interests. So for example, for me, it's movies. So I would make a cultural index based on filmed high quality output. So the country would need to be able to make movies, basically. And if I could, I'd dive down even deeper and I'd be looking for like movies that are about science fiction and like action and, you know, like fantasy, these types of things, because those are interest to me. Like countries that produce a lot of that stuff, that would make it definitely worthy of using this as a selection criteria. But if it's just like overall, you know, cultural impact, well, what's that mean to me? Like, I don't care if it's got a cultural impact with food. I don't need to learn your language if it's got a cultural impact with food. I can still eat your food.
Way more importantly, food.
Okay. I literally said that's the one I don't care about, and he cared about it.
Number 3, economy. In other words, how rich can you get if you learn this language? Money brings education and career opportunities, and it can pay for technologies which I can nerd out about. For this, I'm using...
Okay, so now we're looking at GDP. So basically, again, it's world-based GDP. Again, I don't think this is a great way of selecting because you're not going to be finding a job based on a global level. Well, very few people will. So I would go based on a regional level, and I would choose in that way. So for example, in Australia, our biggest trading partners are like the US, China, and then maybe I'd look at the next 4 type of thing if I was to select based on GDP. That would make sense, unless I'm planning to move to like some other country.
The GDP of countries where the language is officially spoken. Number 4.
Okay, so what was that? Geography.
4. Geography. In how many countries is this language officially spoken? Number 5.
Again, that doesn't really matter to me type of thing. To give you an example, so I've learned Esperanto, and Esperanto is not spoken in any country, but it's been highly useful for me type of thing. And I would actually say, in all honesty, that I think it would be more useful to me than, say, French. Because in Australia, the number of French speakers is quite small. I know a few French speakers, but like I have no need to use this language with them. The closest speaking French territory is an island off of Australia, which is like, what's the name of the island? I can't even remember the name of the island. Oh, I was literally just going to go Google it, and then I remembered it's New Caledonia. I've never been there, probably never will go there. Don't need French for that. And I've been to France once, and I'm probably never going to go back because it just was not my cup of tea. Like, I didn't find the country that interesting. If I was to go back to Europe, I've been there twice, I would probably go to Italy again, and maybe even the Vatican again, because the architecture there is just friggin' insane type of thing. Switzerland's got obviously the best like scenery. Germany's got some pretty cool spots, but like realistically, don't see a need for French. If I'm going to go to Africa, maybe, but like, do I really want to go to the French-speaking areas of Africa? Not really. Don't have a real need. I'm not shitting on countries here. I'm just applying this algorithm in my head to my own decision making.
Tourism. I wanted to take into account how likely I am to visit a country and use this language. For this, I'm using the number of tourists that visit countries where...
Yeah, this is like completely useless. Why do I care if a tourist visits a country or not? Like, for example, that would mean there's no point me learning Chinese because like the tourism industry in China is completely and utterly screwed. It is dead. And I know that for a fact because I went there like 6 months ago and we went to some like big tourist areas. Like these were areas that were designed for large amounts of international tourists. You could tell because they had literally like line-up areas where you could line up. And these were like, say, 10, 20 lines long, but there was no one in them. I was just like walking around like this through this gate to try and get to the entrance going, Jesus Christ, this is crazy. And like when you go inside, I remember we went into this one area, which is kind of like a Disneyland almost, but it was in more of a remote area. And it was like a cultural, you know, Chinese version of it. And they got these dancers come out and do a public performance in the middle of this like park area. And it was me, my wife and my mother-in-law and some other random dude that was sitting there, and there was like 20 dancers performing for us, and we're like, this is awkward. So I felt like I had to keep clapping just so that they didn't feel bad, like the dancers themselves, because they were literally just performing for themselves. So like the tourism argument it's completely useless, but then at the same time, I kind of prefer having no tourists because it means I can just look around, take photos without being like squished and having like a billion people in front of me type of thing.
The language is official. Number 6, passport strength. In the off chance that I want to become a
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, don't go get a Chinese passport, which is so funny because there is so much propaganda on Chinese media about the strength of their passport and how their passport will protect them. It's like a nationalism thing that's going on. But at the same time, it is literally the most useless passport because I've traveled to multiple countries as an Australian, and in most of them, I just rock up and go, "Hi guys," pay a little bit of money and I'll walk in. But my wife will have to like organize all these complex visas and stuff. A great example of this is when we went to Taiwan. I walked in. For her, it was a little bit more complex.
a citizen of a country where the language is spoken. The final score takes into account how many visas a passport would unlock for me. I'd love to see someone take what I've started and personalize it or make it more powerful.
I don't think you can make this good in any way. I don't know what this system's achieving. Are you an alien coming to Earth trying to pick a language? Because you've done this all on a global level at the moment. So realistically, this system's kind of pointless. It's highly subjective. It doesn't really achieve anything. Although it's letting me just like sit here and talk crap.
Make sure to link to the code in the description of this video. Without further ado, it's about to get official in here. This is the top 10 most useful languages ranked. Number 10, Japanese. With over 125 million speakers.
Like, for some people, culture is everything when it comes to Japanese. Like, they literally just learn due to anime. Me, I think anime is cool and all, but like, I'm not going to go learn a language just due to anime type of thing.
Speakers and a passport.
I love how geography is like a 0. Your geography sucks, Japan.
That offers visa-free access to more than 190 countries. From the neon-lit energy of Tokyo to the tranquil beauty of Kyoto, Japan welcomes over 30 million tourists annually. As a global leader in technology, entertainment, and cultural...
I don't think I'm going to like actually listen to every single one of these because this is starting to turn into a tourism ad. So I'm literally going to jump through the list and see what he's got next.
Europe. And German is the most spoken...
Okay, so German. Let's have a look. Apparently you guys, your geography sucks as well. Communication. Germans. God, can't communicate with you guys at all. But realistically, German, I feel like... Because my mum's actually German, she speaks German. I don't really have a need to speak the language because when I went over to Germany, they just spoke English with me. And then when I went to some of the more remote areas, which I specifically went to because I had Esperanto speakers, I spoke Esperanto, so...
Native language in the EU. If you're looking for career opportunities in engineering, business, or academia, this is a must-learn language.
Is that still true? Do you still need to learn German if you live in the EU, if you want to get into like the sciences? I thought that was like an early 19th century thing. Like, I didn't know if that was still true.
Across the Middle East and North Africa, Arabic is the official language of over 25 countries.
So what's it got? Passport strength? Really? They have like a really powerful passport? This doesn't even make sense. What am I on about? Arabic is a language spread across multiple countries. Which passport are we talking about? This is terrible. What the hell does this mean? I've got an Arabic passport, boys. Which one? I've got the Saudi Iranian passport. It's the best kind.
265.
Okay, so now we're up to Portuguese. Let's have a look. So we've got apparently passport strength is really good. Which passport? Again, I guess Portugal or Brazil. I'm guessing it would be Portugal. I'm guessing it wouldn't be that like tiny little place in Africa where they've got Portuguese. Okay, guys, so if you want a really strong passport, just make sure you learn the Portuguese that's spoken in Portuguese Cape Verde. Okay, let's continue.
5 million speakers across multiple continents. Portuguese is a power and carnival to football legends like Pele and Neymar. If you're drawn to one of...
Who cares about some stupid-ass football legend? How's that going to help me? Great, you got money, bro. Love your sunglasses. Hindi. Okay, let's begin.
...you to communicate with...
Why does Hindi get a shitty geography? What the hell? How does this geography system work? I'm so confused. Does it mean... Oh, wait, no, he means geography as in, like, it's spread across multiple countries. But, like, I guess that makes sense. Like, it is kind of realistically only speaking in portions of India. And as I found out from my comment section, mainly the northern part of India. But, again, passport strength. Well, as we know, India is not a united country of one language, so it doesn't really make sense. Okay, we're going to jump ahead.
In cultural influence.
Okay, so Mediterranean. So let's have a look. We've got communication... Geography, economy. I'm starting to forget what these things mean. So communication was like... I don't even remember what it means. Like, I'm just assuming it means you can't communicate with people anymore. Like, Italians, it's easy. Just use hand signals. Mandarin Chinese. Okay, a language I speak.
In the world.
You see, this is why this is shit, okay? Straight up, I'm going to tell you right now. If you want to learn Mandarin Chinese, and it's got like literally nothing here in geography, you can travel anywhere with Mandarin Chinese and literally exist only using this language in that area. Because I've gone on tour groups literally everywhere with this language. So it's like English in a way, but it's just not as big as English. So there is plenty of tourist groups. I've gone through Vietnam, I've gone through Thailand, I've gone through Germany, Spain, and Italy using Mandarin. Tourist groups, they take you all to all the different locations. The only downside is it's one of those tourist groups where it's really fast type of thing. But like, if you're using it to travel, then it's actually great, and it's super cheap.
Language in the world with over 1 billion native speakers. China's economy is massive and learning the hardest languages to learn, so be prepared for a challenge. Number 3, French.
Nah, not gonna learn it. It's too hard. Okay, Spanish. Well, I'm currently learning this one due to Dreaming Spanish, so we should have like a little extra bar up there which says Dreaming Spanish, and that's 100% of my reason at the moment, just because I'm testing out a theory. But let's have a look what else we've got. Economy, communication. I don't see anything about illegal immigration in there. English.
Powerful language in the world.
So the outcome is English? Did I just watch 7 minutes to find out that I should learn English? I hope to God you're trolling me.
It's the global language of business, science, and entertainment. With 1.5 billion speakers, and a is king. So I guess I'll be learning Spanish next? Make sure to subscribe if you want to keep updated on that.
Did you just make a video in English telling us the best language to learn is English? And then just randomly say, I guess I'll learn Spanish. Bro, this was the worst YouTube video I've seen in so long. I just got trolled hard. I lost some freaking hairs over this shit. You know what? It's too late. I'm not going to review any other videos today. I do one video a day. I'm sorry, my audience is going to have to put up with this one as well. Sorry, guys. I can't be effed making another video. We're going with this one. This... Rick. Or whatever your name is. I hate you, man. You just trolled the shit out of me. Terrible. Terrible video.